Hello, magical people. Welcome back to another episode of the new Astro Woo on the Beyond Mystic and Meg Moonbeam YouTube, Rumble, and X channels. And of course, we are at the beginning of October. Today is October 1st. So rabbit, rabbit, rabbit to all of you, wishing you all positive vibes, good luck, and an absolutely magical October as we step into this spooky season, which is also my birthday month. So shout out to all my fellow October Scorpios out there. Always love this time of year so much. So we got a lot to go over in today's new Astro Woo for the month of October. Some once in a lifetime astrology transits going on. So before we get into the astrology, as always, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Meg Moonbeam YouTube and Rumble channels, as well as the Beyond Mystic YouTube and Rumble channels. And my personal astrology readings are available over at consultations.beyondmystic.net if you'd like to go check those out. And I'm currently booking into starting in February 2025. So if you'd like to have a reading with me in 2025, you can go to the link in the description box below and book in, because I have a feeling that I might get booked out for the whole year at some point. So yeah, so how's everybody doing out there? Just bear with me for one moment. I'm just going to bring up the Rumble feed too, so I can look at that as well as we're going live today. Perfect. So yeah, hello, Samantha. Nice to see you. You say 1st of October and Meg is bringing the hocus pocus vibes. Love it. Yes, I love October, spooky season, Halloween, this whole time of year. So I live for this. I live for this stuff. Hello, Shelly. So nice to see you. You say, hi, Meg, Shelly here. I've had lots of major insights from the retreat yesterday. I did a deep dive into my North Node from Jan Spiller's book. So cool and so nice to see you here, Shelly. Sending you a great big hug and sending a great big hug to all of you out there, and especially everyone that joined Jens and I for our Soul Family weekend retreat that we just did in Niagara. So much fun, such a special time. So thank you so much for joining us, any viewers out there that did join us on that. And I also want to mention that Jens is going to be starting to host this 30-day meditation challenge starting tomorrow, Wednesday, October 2nd, on the Beyond Mystic Academy. So if you haven't heard about this or checked this out yet, go over to the Beyond Mystic Academy and you can sign up. We're going to do 30 straight days of meditation led by Jens to help us navigate these current times, the energies that are coming from space. So it's a daily 20-minute meditation that whether you can join live, you can also join in on the replay as well. And it's at a really cost-affordable price, between $17 donation and $177 donation. So you can feel out what you would like to donate to be a part of that. And I'm curious, before we get into the specific October astrology, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing in the live chat, those are that are watching live, or even the comments below, how are you feeling as we step into this month? Because I personally am feeling today like something really big is about to happen. And I know a lot of people have kind of been saying that lately or for a long time, but I genuinely feel this wave of energy yesterday. And I was just explaining before I went live for today's Astro Woo, I did a daily Astro show that I had a sound healing session done on myself today that was so, so lovely. I need to do that more. And during that, I just got this very strong sense, like this wave of energy that there's some kind of big event coming, and it's not necessarily negative, but it's like a wave of energy, and I feel like it's very soon. I feel like could be today, could be tomorrow, the day of the eclipse, could even be this week, that there's something absolutely historical, very big, unprecedented that could be even taking place. So let me know if any of you guys are feeling out there. And hello, Nanya Bidness. Nice to see you here. Thank you so much for the super chat and supporting my Meg Moonbeam channel. Thank you so much. So, okay, let's start off by sharing a little bit on our October astrology key dates that we've got coming up. So, I'm filming this October 1st, and October 2nd, tomorrow, we've got new moon solar eclipse in Libra. So, we're going to talk about that specifically after we go through the key dates. And did I mention already that in today's Astro Woo, what the heck we're going to do? So, today, what we're going to do is I'm going to share the key astrology transits for the collective for the month of October, and also do readings for each of the 12 sun, moon, and rising signs after that as well. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's new Astro Woo. So let's first take a look at October astrology 2024 key dates. Okay. So October 2nd, we've got new moon solar eclipse in Libra. So we're in an eclipse season as we enter the beginning of October. And this is where we can have very big life changes, epiphanies, events come up. So very big stuff. And let me know in the comments if you guys are feeling that at all. And hello, Jill. Nice to see you here. You say feeling like something big is going to happen. Yeah, I really feel that as well. Big time. October 4th, we've got Venus in Scorpio, trine Saturn in Pisces. So that's nice because we actually have that aspect strong during the new moon solar eclipse. And so whatever intentions we put out with that new moon tomorrow from when I'm filming this video, those can last into the long term because Venus is actually the dispositor of this eclipse. Venus is the ruler of Libra. It's very important what's going on with Venus during the time of the eclipse. And Saturn, Granddaddy Saturn, as I like to call him, is about long-term goals, time, things lasting for a long time. So great eclipse to be putting our long-term goals and intentions out there. On October 8th, we've got Venus in Scorpio, trine Mars in Cancer, rising aspect, very creative and passionate. October 9th, Jupiter goes retrograde. Okay, so if we haven't had enough of a retrograde city energy already for most of the summer, now going into the fall, during the whole fall, we're kind of going to be having a retrograde city as well. And retrograde city, for those of you who have maybe never heard of that term before, this is a term that we use when we got a lot of planets at the same time retrograde. So at the moment, as of October 1st, that I'm live right now, we've got Pluto, Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, and Chiron, 5 heavenly bodies, all retrograde. October 9th, Jupiter goes retrograde. That's going to be 6. Wowzers. Okay. Then a few days later on October 11th, Pluto goes direct. So Pluto will no longer be retrograde. And I have a big kind of funny feeling about this because we've been in this Pluto and Capricorn since May. And no, not since May, sorry, since September. Pluto has been retrograde since the end of May. And I feel like when Pluto goes direct on October 11th, from October 11th to November 18th, this is go time. Okay, so this is where we're really going to see the Spirit's making me want to say a very scorpionic word, and I'm just going to say it, the wrath, if you will, of Pluto. Okay, and it's not the end of the world or anything like that, but Pluto is the most intense planet in astrology that rules death, rebirth, transformation, cleansing, and revealing. So Pluto's been retrograde since May and, has been in Capricorn since September 1st, but we haven't had the big events happen yet of what Pluto in Capricorn has in store for us. This is going to occur between October 11th and November 18th. So buckle up, you guys. And I've been talking a lot about Pluto and Capricorn this last time in our lives and what this means politically for each of us personally. So you can go back in some of my later videos and go check that out. This is huge world and personal life changes. And I highly recommend checking out, and we'll go through as we go through each of the 12 signs, checking out where you've got Pluto currently transiting in your chart. So where you have 29 degrees of Capricorn in your chart, because this is an area of life you can be going through a huge death, rebirth, transformation, revealing process, okay? October 13th, Mercury enters Scorpio. So as we get into October, we're getting into the Scorpio vibe. Okay, it's not till October 22nd or 23rd that Sun ingresses into Scorpio. We've already got Venus in Scorpio. Mercury enters Scorpio October 13th. And Scorpio is the most intense sign in astrology. So also buckle up, because Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, moving direct as of October 11th in Capricorn for the last time in our lives during a Scorpio season. Okay, get your ducks in order here on every level, physically and mentally, emotionally and spiritually, because this is go time. Okay, this is anything can happen right now. There's huge systems and structures of life that are going to be falling apart. And hopefully it doesn't go into a totally chaotic place. Let's manifest the highest timeline available. Okay, but this is going to have definitely some bumps as we go along, going into October. So, okay, October 14th, so mid-month, Sun in Libra square Mars in Cancer. So that'll be a tense aspect that we've got going on. And that pesky Mars in Cancer, we've got that Mars in Cancer until November. And then Mars is going to go retrograde at the end of the year. And we're going to have 6 months of Mars retrograde in Cancer. So this is making people more moody. This is making people more sensitive. We can be feeling tired. You know, Mars is at fall position in Cancer. So when we've got these aspects during the month, like October 14th, Sun square Mars, it's not just a regular Sun square Mars, it's a Sun square Mars at his fall in the sign of Cancer. So really important to really take care of your emotions and your energy levels while Mars is in Cancer for the whole month of October and also going into November. And remember to not take things personally from people. If they get really frustrated or conflictual or triggered out of nowhere, okay, it's because we've got this Mars in Cancer going on. October 14th, Venus in Scorpio trine Neptune in Pisces. That's a very romantic, creative, magical day, mid-month. Then October 17th, full moon in Aries. Bam. And I'm going to bring up the chart of the Libra eclipse, the full moon in Aries. We're going to look at these more in depth. This is a very powerful full moon in Aries on the same day as a Venus sextile Pluto, and also Venus ingresses into Sag. So we'll talk about that when I bring up the chart for full moon in Aries. October 22nd, Sun in Libra square Pluto on the exact day that the Sun ingresses into Scorpio season. So this Scorpio season is going to be one for the history books, totally. And actually an astrological remedy that I would invite you guys to do, because this is going to be very scorpionic influences for the whole month of October and also going into November as well during Scorpio season with Pluto at the end of Capricorn. I invite you to do cleansing practices. Okay. So astrological remedy theory, which was developed by one of the best astrologers of all time, Nikola Stoyanovich, is where we want to play the energy out of something that a sign or planet rules so that we don't have an over excess of kind of the more challenging aspects of that sign or planet in our lives. So, you know, Scorpio, Pluto rules many things. One of the things it rules is cleansing and detox and purging. So an astrological remedy during the whole month of October and even going into November is to do cleansing practices, okay? And even if you don't want to do like a really intense cleanse, okay, you can do even just starting in the morning with some lemon in your water or some orange oil, some like ingestible grade lemon or orange oil. cleansing agents, taking salt baths once or twice a week, incorporating cleansing into your regular routine will be an astrological remedy for the intensity of October and to be able to manage and get through that for sure. Lakeside Laura, hello. Laura says, interesting. I started cleansing early. Very, very good. Well, you're on top of it. That's fantastic. So yeah, October 22nd, we enter Scorpio season. And then October 24th, we've got Mars in Cancer, sextile Uranus in Taurus. That's very nice. And October 28th, Mars in Cancer, trine Neptune in Pisces. So I like that we've got some nice aspects with Mars at the end of the month, even though we've got Pluto in square to the sun as soon as the sun enters Scorpio. And during that Scorpio season, it is important to pay attention to what's going on with Mars and with Pluto, because these are the dispositors of the sun in Scorpio. Okay. So I know I am a Scorpio. I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you see me before, you know I'm a Scorpio because I mention that a lot. And we can be a little bit intense sometimes, but I am not over exaggerating when I say that this will be one of the most powerful, intense months of our lives. That is a portal for us to step into greater heights of our empowerment and who we truly are. Okay. And the sign of Scorpio, because it rules the underworld, death, rebirth, transformation, the dark night of the soul, it teaches us that we have to go through the darkness to truly enter the light. So we're seeing that in the world at this moment. We're seeing so many things coming to the surface at the moment and being revealed, right? So much is like crashing and burning right now and being revealed. And it can seem like it's all going to shit, right? But my truth, and I hope it resonates with you guys, is that the darkness has to come to the light so that we can acknowledge it, we can process it and release it, to let it go, and then to truly move forward into brighter territories, right? So Scorpio can be intense. It can be a little scary too, but it's initiation and it's powerful and it's necessary, especially coming out of the age of Pisces that we've been in for sure, which has been so much just illusions, lies, deception as well. I also want to say happy birthday, solar returns to all my October Libras and Scorpios out there. So you guys are going to have some pretty potent solar return charts for your birthday years ahead. Okay, so now let's take a look specifically at the chart for the new moon solar eclipse on October 2nd. Then we're going to look at the chart for the full moon in Aries on October 17th, and then do readings for each of the 12 signs and also a collective reading for all of us. So, you know, I've just done a eclipse season workshop that was just under a month ago over on the Beyond Mystic Academy. This is a 3.5 hour live workshop that I did, deep dive on this eclipse season and its effects for the whole next 6 months to a year ahead for the whole collective and each of the 12 signs. So I know a lot of you guys took part in that workshop. Thanks so much for supporting my live workshop. And you've also heard me talk about this eclipse season a lot. So I'm not going to go super in depth into it. I'm going to explain some of the most important points about this new moon solar eclipse in Libra. And I see that we've got 444 viewers on the YouTube and Twitter channels. So that's so cool. I've been seeing a lot of 444s lately. So this is a new moon solar eclipse on October 2nd at 10 degrees of Libra. And new moon solar eclipses are all about major life new beginnings that set the tone for our whole year ahead, for the collective and each of us in our personal lives, okay? Eclipse, full moons, and new moons are like regular lunations on steroids, as we say in the astrology community. They're very, very powerful. This is an extremely powerful portal to put out your intentions, you guys, okay? around your relationships, around your commitments, your values, your creativity, anything related to the arts, and anything related to pleasure and enjoyment of life, and harmony and bringing balance and moderation. This is an amazing eclipse to be calling in a soulmate, to be calling in a new business partner, work partner, friends, community. This is all about others. Libra is a sign that rules others. It is important to mention that we do have the South Node in a light conjunction to this eclipse, okay? And the South Node, we've had that South Node in Libra for the past over a year. And we've been collectively going through letting go of karmic relationships and commitments that no longer serve us. So there's a little bit of a dichotomy here with this new moon solar eclipse on October 2nd and for the year ahead, because yes, we can call in new relationships for ourselves, but we've still got that South Node in Libra. So there's still an element of release that we are going through in those Libra ruled areas of life. And I feel like, and some of you guys might not like to hear me say this, okay, but I feel like many people that are setting their intentions around calling in a new soulmate, new work partner, clients, relationships, you may not have it actually come in until after January 2025, when the South Node leaves the sign of Libra and enters the sign of Virgo, okay? Whatever sign we currently have in the South Node is a weakened sign during that position. It is in a weakened period. So I'm not saying that people can't meet their soulmates or make new connections from now until January, but I just want you guys to be very mindful of what does come up from now until January, having to do with your relationships, your commitments, your business interactions as well, okay? Because there's likely to be maybe some tests coming up in that regard. And things will become a lot more smoother actually in our relationships, and having those partners actually come in after January 2025 when the South Node is out of Libra, okay? So that's very important for me to mention. And I don't know why the heck, can you guys hear the sound behind me right now? Literally, whenever I do these videos, the garbage men are picking up the garbage outside. So I'm sorry if you guys can hear any weird sounds from outside, but I'm sure that'll be gone in a couple minutes there. So yeah, we're calling new things in. This is an amazing eclipse for setting intentions, but because it's conjunct the South Node, there's also an energy of release. Okay, release and creational energy at the same time. This is our last eclipse in Libra for the next 9 years. So we've got this eclipse season on September 17th. We just had full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, and that was our first eclipse in 9 years that entered the Virgo Pisces axis. So we're starting to have soon, the eclipses will be out of Libra and Aries, and they will move into Pisces and Virgo. So if you have any major placements at 10 degrees of Libra or around 10 degrees of Libra, like within 5 degrees either side of that, you will be getting very affected by this eclipse, depending on the areas of life that are ruled by the house you're having this eclipse in, or the areas of life that are ruled by the planet that you may have conjunct or in aspect to this eclipse. If you have placements in the cardinal signs, so Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn from 5 to 15 degrees, you will also be very strongly affected by this eclipse. So, you know, it's important to mention as well that for the past 6 months, we've been under the influence of the full moon lunar eclipse in Libra, which was on March 25th, 2024. That also was during the time of the South Node in Libra. So we've been going through major release and letting go in our commitments and our relationships. Beautiful eclipse for calling in new positive commitments and relationships. Very interesting that Black Moon Lilith is exactly conjunct this eclipse. Holy guacamole, look at that. Black Moon Lilith, 10 degrees Libra with the sun and the moon conjunct. We've also got Mercury there, only 1 degree off, and the South Node there. So there's a lot going on. And Black Moon Lilith, it really, really interesting. For those of you that don't know, Black Moon Lilith, which is this symbol here, the moon with the cross at the bottom, this is not a heavenly body. This is actually a calculated point that is the farthest away point of the moon's orbit. Okay, so it's like where the moon is at its farthest away from Earth, and Black Moon Lilith. And this placement rules the dark divine feminine, primal energy, sexuality. It's very shamanic, it's very tantric, it's very sexual, it's very creative. There's light and there's dark to Lilith. The light is, Lilith is the empowerment of the divine feminine being unshackled and free, from having to be under the constraints of the negative masculine, right? The overpowering masculine. Lilith is a goddess that kind of stepped out into her divine womanhood, and she was called a whore, and she was shamed for being in her empowerment. So it's empowering for women, and we're going to see women's issues be very highlighted over the next year period with this new moon solar eclipse conjunct Lilith. Chrissy, hi Chrissy, says Black Moon Lilith, the misunderstood feminine energy. Yes, that's such a good way of putting it. Totally. Women are going to be very highlighted. And I know that that's like very general for me to say because half of the population is women. Okay. But issues around women, women's sexuality, women's empowerment. And I'm not talking about woke feminism. I'm not talking about woke feminism. I'm talking about spiritual, divine feminine coming forward even more into the forefront. The Lilith, I'm feeling spirit say, Lilith, even though she's a dark goddess, she can help us too. She's going to bring forward women's issues that may be uncomfortable to talk about. Hi, Jenny. Jenny says abortion. Totally right, Jenny. Things like abortion, things like rape, things like, women not being treated equally. And this is not in a woke way. This is bringing the feminine back into balance with the masculine, the natural divine feminine, right? We may see people in the mainstream of life, like celebrities or very well-known people, start to talk about, literally use the term divine feminine or dark divine feminine or, tantric spirituality. That start to maybe become even more of a trend. Spirituality is already very trendy, but that can become even more of a trend. Lilith is also the other woman and adultery. Okay, so this can be the dark side of Lilith, is she's very wild, right? So this is going to bring up big sex scandals over the next year regarding, I'm going to test my astrology family out there. What kind of people are Libra in life? What kind of people are ruled by Libra? Type it in the live chat that we're going to see have sex scandals over the next year. Very public sex scandals. Because Mercury is conjunct this. So the news is going to come out. The information is going to come out. We're already having the P. Diddy issue. P. Diddy is just the start of it, right? Samantha Taylor, Kamala, 100%. I'll have to do a whole other video on Kamala's astrology, but definitely Kamala, okay? Libra rules, yeah, DigiBean, you got it. Politicians. A lot of sexual scandals with politicians, a lot over the next year. And weird stuff too, because Lilith represents our hidden primal nature, right? So sometimes Lilith can be, if people have weird fetishes about things or are really hidden sexuality, that's Lilith. So that's going to be coming up very big with politicians. Also, Tree Huggers for Trump says judicial. You're totally right. Libra rules judicial, the justice system. Politicians, judicial people, diplomats, artists, musicians, people that might be like famous therapists, right? Like not necessarily Dr. Phil, okay, but people that are like, therapists or counselors, those are ruled by Libra as well. So there's going to be Lilith. She's dramatic. She's a little bit dramatic. Okay, so it's going to be interesting. There's going to be very big, monoblock. Hi, monoblock says lots of dirty laundry coming to the surface. Lots. And not only is this new moon solar eclipse in Libra, it's at 10 degrees, which is a Capricorn degree, the other sign that rules politicians and powerful people. Big time. So there's going to be, and there might even be correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but with the astrology of this new moon solar eclipse, I think we could see within the next year a huge public trial involving P. Diddy. Now, I'll preface that by saying I haven't looked at P. Diddy's astrology in depth yet. I want to do a whole specific video on that. So I don't know his personal transits at the moment, but looking at this, whether it's P. Diddy or another figure, there's going to be a huge public, and maybe even more than one, because Mercury is conjunct this eclipse, and Mercury is things being doubled. Huge public trial involving sex and possibly sexual abuse, or the porn industry, or affairs. Stuff like that. So that's big time in the astrology with this. Major shadow work and tests in our relationships are going to be coming up over the next year with this. Very positive for the arts field, for calling in new soulmates, partners, Libra ruled things. If you are being in alignment and honest with yourself, right? Very, very powerful eclipse there. And let's take a look at the chart for the full moon in Aries. So as we get, different astrologers say different things, but what personally resonates with me is, the 2 weeks before an eclipse season, the 2 weeks of an eclipse season, and the 2 weeks after an eclipse season, which is really like a 6-week period. I personally feel the energy of these eclipses. So we've got this last eclipse of the fall eclipse season on October 2nd. And we're really going to be in the energy of it until mid-October. Okay, so you can still be in the energy of it, having some big things come up in whatever area of life you have Libra in your chart. By the time we get to this full moon in Aries, this is the chart that I've got up now. Okay, we're out of the eclipse season, we're out of the eclipse energy, and we're in a full moon in Aries portal. Yay, which is going to be very intense. You guys are hearing me say the word intense a lot because we got a lot of Scorpio, we got a lot of Pluto going on. And this is Aries, which is the sister sign to Scorpio, the sister sign ruled by Mars. So this is big stuff. This full moon in Aries on October 17th is an amazing full moon for empowerment. Okay, so I love this full moon for cleansing and releasing what no longer serves, around what's holding you back from your confidence, your empowerment, your inner authority, and your leadership. Very powerful full moon for this. Aries is the sign that rules leadership, fearlessness, drive, determination, right? Empowerment. It's the first sign in astrology. Very empowering if we kind of do the cleansing work and work with this full moon. But I will be honest with you guys that this will be a tense day, a conflictual day, and even days around the full moon. So the 3 days before and after, because the dispositor of this full moon, which is Mars, the ruler of Aries, is in a T-square. Okay, is in a T-square. So T-square is a very harsh aspect pattern where every full moon we've got the sun and the moon in an opposition, right? So the moon is at 24 degrees of Aries, 24 is a Pisces degree. We'll get into that in a moment. So they're in an opposition together. And then look, Mars, the dispositor of Aries, is at 22 degrees Cancer in square to both the moon and the sun. So we call this a T-square, when we've got two things in opposition that are both in square to a placement. Mars is about conflict. Mars is about war. Mars rules the military. Mars rules physical violence and aggression and anger, frustration, the divine masculine. Okay, so let's send some actually prayers for this date, because there is astrological potential here and potency for possibly some kind of war situation to escalate, for there to be a situation of violence, physical violence, okay? Military on the streets, I'm hearing Spirit say, possibly. This is not a good full moon to be going to a protest, to be going around a big crowd of people, okay? People are on edge, and Mars is at fallen Cancer. So Mars is pissed off. He's like, get me the heck out of Cancer. I don't want to be in Cancer. People are angry, they're frustrated, and there's likely to be something that, yeah, Chrissy says 22 degrees is a Capricorn degree. Conflict with government, it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. Let's send positive energy. Let's be on the highest timeline available. I'm not trying to say be spiritual bypassing, but yeah, there's potential here for a little bit of nastiness on this days and the days surrounding this. Canada has its rising sign at 16 degrees of Aries. So it's not like in a super strong conjunction to this full moon. It's 8 degrees off, okay? But it's still a full moon in Aries. Canada has its rising sign in Aries. So we could see something in Canada really pop off. There's potential that we might be having an election soon. Aries rules the leaders. Aries is another sign that rules politicians, leaders, public people, business people. So there's definitely going to be conflict surrounding the US election. Something intense going on, but also just the world in general. Okay, so I want you guys to watch out for this day, because it is a little bit of a yucky energy. It's intense. It's intense, but let's tune into the higher octave of this full moon, which is Aries also rules empowerment, leadership, taking action, and being fearless. So I invite you guys with this full moon in Aries to ask yourself, where can you be even more fearless in life? Okay. Have you given your power away to a person, place, or thing? This is an amazing full moon in Aries, October 17th, to take your power back, to do cleansing work around that. Okay. Good full moon too, to, if you need to do like a public talk or do something that you're scared of, to do something that you're fearful of, do it around that full moon, because you will feel more empowered. It's weird because Mars is in Cancer and it's the dispositor, and we're like moody and sensitive, but we are feeling that Aries drive and empowerment at the same time. Venus sextile Pluto at the full moon in Aries. So, always very important when we've got some kind of iffy stuff going on, like this full moon is like kind of an iffy situation. Always very important to look at the malefic planets: Pluto, Saturn, Mars. Okay, Mars is in T-square to the full moon, so that's adverse. Pluto, which is the most intense planet, the most intense malefic, is actually in good aspects. Okay, so even though Pluto is at 29 degrees of Capricorn direct at the time of this full moon, in exact sextile to Venus. Okay, so Pluto is actually feeling good. Pluto's feeling sexy, And so I don't want to freak you guys out. This is not the end of the world. This is not like civil war. This is not shit hitting the fan, okay? Because Pluto is not in a bad aspect, thank God. Pluto is in a light square to the full moon and to the sun, but it's in an exact sextile to Venus. So that's actually the stronger aspect here. DigiBean says, I remove all my energy from takers. I love that. That's fantastic. Okay, so yeah, that's what we've also got. Jupiter almost exactly sextile to the moon. So there's good aspects here. Jupiter sextile moon, Pluto sextile Venus, just intense T-square to Mars with that full moon. So important to take note of that. So, okay, we've gone through some of the key astrological transits for the month. We've done a little bit of a deep dive on the lunations for October. And before we get into the readings for each of the 12 signs, let's do a little collective reading for all of us as we enter the month of October. And I'm going to pull from my Shaman Oracle cards that I've been pulling from a lot lately, and also my Moonology cards that I've been pulling from. Been really feeling these two decks. So let's see what we get here. What's our messages for our highest good from the universe, all that supports us in loving intention as we enter the month of October? I'm getting, like, in bold letters, boundaries, which we talk about a lot. Boundaries, having your personal boundaries up, not taking on other people's stuff, because there will be a lot of people waking up as systems fall apart. And yes, we can support them, but it's important to take care of yourself first and foremost. Boundaries, I'm getting that right away. Ooh, wow, okay. And let's pull some Moonology cards. I'll show you guys what we get in a moment here. Yeah, it is weird energies. I'm seeing a lot of, Brenda says weird energies, feeling it today. Yeah, a lot of people sharing that. Okay. Whoa, interesting. Okay. So first of all, we've gotten this on a regular basis lately. Hold your vision, fixed moon. So I love the saying, and I'm having a brain fart who says this: the stars impel, they do not compel. Okay, the stars impel, they do not compel. So, like, for example, I'm talking about this full moon in Aries, it's in a T-square to Mars. That's intense, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there has to be physical violence that happens on that day. It's a potential, but if we collectively hold the vision of the highest timeline, of the highest vision of that day, of this month, of, you know, the timelines we're going towards, we create our realities with our visions, with our thoughts, with our words, with our beliefs. So we keep getting this card. Hold your vision for the bright future, I'm hearing Spirit say, because the vision is working, and we're actually doing light work at all times by just being ourselves, and it is really working. And I feel like things could have been way worse right now if there weren't the amount of awake people, light workers on the planet. So your vision is working. If you're someone that's like praying, meditating, setting, you know, visualizing a positive world every day, and you're like, is this even working right now? I feel like some of you may be like, is this even working right now? Spirit is saying, yes, it's working beyond your comprehension, very much. So continue to hold the vision. And new moon in Leo, confidence is your key to success. And that's interesting because the full moon in Aries this month is very much about confidence, stepping into your empowerment. And, you know, Leo is about bravery, and it's also a very fearless sign. So we're being invited to be in that frequency as we step into the energy of this month, which will be intense. And in the Shaman's Oracle, Dancer of Life. Dancing can help us throughout the month. That's something I've been really feeling lately. Dancing and just not caring what you even look like, doing some ecstatic dance, going to an ecstatic dance, just dancing around the house can be very helpful. And that full moon in Aries, an astrological remedy for that full moon in Aries, because it is a little bit adverse in T-square to Mars, is movement. Aries rules physical movement, right? Heather, thank you so much for your super chat. I appreciate your support so much. Mwah. Love you so much. So yeah, dancing, physical movement is a remedy. Actually, also not just for the full moon in Aries, but even the whole month of October as well, because Mars is one of the rulers of Scorpio as well. And we've got Shaman of Reflections. Interesting. I've been talking about that, even though right now, as I'm filming this new Astro Woo, we're about to have a new moon solar eclipse in Libra, which is very creational. It's about setting intentions and fresh new energy. We've also got the South Node in Libra at the same time. So there can be things coming up from our past, us going through releases at the same time, and making time for reflection is actually really important at this time, I feel like. And as I say that to you guys, I'm also saying that to myself because I haven't been doing that enough. Just sitting with like a journal, you know, outside in nature, just with the sounds of nature and reflecting, you will be amazed what comes through and the insights that you can have. So really cool cards. That's our cards of divine wisdom for the month of October. Okay, now we're going to get into a lot of people's favorite part, which is going through each of the 12 signs and doing readings for the month of October. And we're going to start with the Aries sun, moon, and risings. How are all my Aries doing out there? Do we got any Aries in the live chat or in the comments below? Let us know. And if you're enjoying this video and our content on Beyond Mystic or the Meg Moonbeam YouTube or Rumble channels, please hit the like button. That really helps us to grow the channels, to spread the messages. So we appreciate all your support so much. So Aries, 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 we've got the new moon solar eclipse happening in your 7th house. So, you know, you're interesting, Aries, because you've got all the houses in alignment with the signs that actually rule that house. So your 7th house is ruled by Libra. And actually, let me say, you guys, listen to your rising and sun signs most importantly. And you can also listen to your moon sign as well for more personal psychological interpretation and predictions. So Aries, this eclipse, new moon eclipse, October 2nd, amazing, fantastic eclipse for you to be calling in a new love partner, a new work partner. Hello, Astrid. I love you. Mwah. I'm going to call you later if it isn't too late for you. Shout out to my Astro sister, Astrid. Go follow her over on her YouTube channel, Astro Astrid. So Aries, this is, fantastic eclipse to be setting intentions around new love, work, client partnerships, not just for this eclipse season, but for the whole next year ahead. And you guys may be having situations in your committed relationships with Lilith in conjunction to that eclipse, where there can be some shadow work coming up to the surface. There can be some possible secrets. Don't want to freak you guys out, but like secrets or information being revealed, important information, I'm hearing Spirit say, being revealed about the people that you are in relationships with. Very important for you guys with the South Node in your 7th house right now to be honest about yourself, about what commitments and relationships are really in alignment with you moving forward. And I love the energy of this eclipse for calling in new partners, putting your long-term commitments out as intentions. Because remember, Venus, the dispositor of this eclipse, is in trine to Saturn. Saturn rules time, things lasting a long time, and long-term goals. So whatever intentions you put out there can actually last into the long term. Then we've got the full moon in Aries in your sign. Oh my goodness, on October 17th. That's, of course, going to be in your first house. And Aries, you guys are going to be really feeling it, okay? Because it's a full moon in your sign, right? In T square to Mars, your planetary ruler, who's currently in his fall position of Cancer. So this is likely to be a very, I keep saying the word intense. Sorry if you guys are like annoyed by me because I keep saying the word intense, but there's a lot of intensity going on here. Aries, this is going to be an intense full moon for you where there may even be conflict coming up for you, okay? In whatever, well, you got Aries in your first house, but wherever you have, Cancer, around 15 degrees of Cancer in your chart, okay? And in the solar charts here, we see that Mars in Cancer is in your fourth house. There can be issues or conflicts coming up with your family, things coming up to the surface around family. Very empowering full moon for you to be in your leadership, to be in your inner authority, to be expressing yourself fearlessly. That's one of the gifts of you, Aries. But, and you guys know, I tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? Likely to be some conflict coming up. And if it's not with family members externally, the fourth house also is the bottom of our chart. It's the most vulnerable part of our chart, our private self. You may be feeling even inner conflict around where you are in life or a situation in your life where maybe you felt like your power was taken away. So this is a fantastic full moon for doing cleansing, for doing healing work. And also very empowering at the same time. So very big month for you, Aries. And I hope what I shared resonated with you. Let me know in the live chat how you feel about that. And I'm wishing you an absolutely magical month of October. Okay, next we move to our Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Tauruses, how are we feeling, my fellow Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Risings? Are you guys feeling like just crazy town? We've got this Uranus and Taurus conjunct Algol at a Taurus degree. It's just like absolutely crazy, unexpected, weird situations coming up for the Tauruses right now, just in general, with Uranus in our sign. But specifically for October, we've got that new moon eclipse in Libra in your sixth house. So this new moon is fantastic for setting intentions around your day-to-day work, your health, routines, your wellness, pets. Some of you guys may even be getting new pets around that time or within the next year period. And remember, you guys, everything that I'm saying for the new moon solar eclipse actually has an effect for the whole next year period. And wherever eclipses activate in our chart, these are areas of life that are in alignment for us to focus on during the course of the whole next year. Okay. So for me personally as an astrologer, and every astrologer is a little bit different, but if I'm doing a reading for someone and they're like, Meg, what should I be focusing on right now? I look overall at the transits, but one of the things I definitely look at is where is the current eclipse seasons in the year activating in their chart. So Taurus is focus on your health because your health is your wealth. And you can set some really cool positive health routines, practices, and maybe even have some healing breakthroughs physically over this eclipse season and over the course of the whole next year. The full moon in Aries on October 17th is in your 12th house. So this is a full moon where it's actually good for you to be spending time kind of resting, relaxing, getting a lot of sleep, being behind the scenes. Okay, the 12th house is the house of spirituality, creativity, being behind the scenes. Pay attention to the dreams that you're having with this full moon. You may be having very active dreams, full moon in Aries in the 12th house. So I want you guys to pay attention to that. And don't try to overextend yourself with that full moon. Really good full moon for spiritual cleansing, meditation. You can put yourself out there and be confident and bold, but it would be good for you guys to maybe be doing it in a way where you're in your own private space, maybe through online, or you're working on something behind the scenes that you're going to be putting out and releasing later. So you guys can be feeling very spiritual and sensitive and have big intuitive breakthroughs with that full moon. So sending lots and lots of love to my Tauruses out there, and have a absolutely magical month of October. Wow, we've got lots of Tauruses in the chat. Cool. Love you guys. Okay, next we move to the Gemini sun, moon, and risings. Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. Well, first we've got the new moon eclipse in Libra on October 2nd happening in your 5th house. Aren't you guys the luckies duckies? Okay, I always get a little bit jealous when I see people have eclipses in their 5th house, because this is the house of Leo. This is the house of fun, playfulness, creativity, confidence, showcasing your gifts and talents. So Gemini, this is a fantastic new moon eclipse for setting intentions, and also not just setting the intentions, but putting yourself out there, showcasing your gifts and talents. This is a very creative energy for you guys for the whole next year period, where this is fun. This is light. This is not too intense. You guys are having Pluto at the end of Capricorn, October, and for most of November back in your 8th house for the last time in your lives. So that is a little bit more on the intense side. And you do have Jupiter in Gemini right now in square to Granddaddy Saturn, but love that you guys got this new moon eclipse in your 5th house. Very positive influence, very creative, fun, playful over the whole next year period. And many Geminis may be starting to start a new creative project, even start a new business, or have children, become a grandparent, get more connected to your inner child. Very much in alignment for you guys. The full moon in Aries on October 17th is happening in your, 11th house. So this is interesting because really good for, I'm going to say, putting yourself online on social media. You know, the 11th house of Aquarius is online, the internet, social media. If you want to speak your truth, and you guys usually have no problem speaking your truth because you're Geminis ruled by Mercury, very good time to be putting yourself out online, doing things on social media. Some of you guys may even have something that goes viral, but being mindful that with that T-square to the full moon might be conflicts with friends around that full moon in Aries, or your community groups that you are associated with. So if around the full moon, there's all of a sudden like a fight going on with a friend, or there's something coming up, yeah, it's because you've got the full moon in your 11th house of friendships, group associations. I want you guys to be mindful of what group situations and events you put yourselves in around that full moon, because there's more likely to be a little bit of an intense conflictual energy for you guys. Okay, but really empowering overall, and also a good full moon in Aries to, put out your 11th house rules also are long-term goals, wishes, and dreams. So putting those out there is really good for you guys at the time of this full moon. So sending lots and lots of love to my Geminis out there. I'm jealous that you've got that new moon in your freaking 5th house. Enjoy that and have an absolutely magical month of October. Okay, Cancer, sun, moon, and risings. How are you guys all feeling as we're entering the month of October? First of all, we've got the new moon eclipse on October 2nd happening in your 4th house. This is the house of Cancer. So this is you in your element, okay? This is a fantastic time for you to be setting intentions and being in creational energy around your home, your family. Many of you will be moving to new properties over the course of the next year. This is a good time to be doing anything related to the house, okay? And to also maybe commit to having a family. Many Cancers, which is the sign that actually rules family, with this eclipse in Libra in your 4th house, will be committing to maybe starting to have children, starting to have a family, starting to have a new home or family dynamic. The fourth house also rules our emotions, our privacy, and the past as well. So you can be learning new things about your ancestors, your past. I feel like you guys are in your element with that eclipse, and it's actually very, very empowering for you. Fantastic to be moving things around in the house, maybe incorporating feng shui over the course of the next year. Libra is the pleasures and beauties of life. Aesthetic can be associated with feng shui in the fourth house, which is the home. So that's pretty cool for you guys. And you've also got the full moon in Aries happening in your 10th house on October 17th. So there can be, Cancer, some conflict going on with work, with your parents, with people older than you, with that full moon in Aries in T square to Mars. Okay. But also you can be, some of you guys may be getting a promotion or starting your own business or feeling very empowered or inspired with work. So your work and your long-term goals are very highlighted with that full moon and can be very powerful actually for those areas of life. So sending you guys lots of love, cosmic love your way, and wishing you an absolutely magical month of October. Love you guys. Now we move to the Leo sun, moon, and risings. How are my Leos doing out there? Let me know, okay? I'm going to just have a sip of water here. Leos. Well, you are ruled by the sun, okay? And we've got a new moon solar eclipse on October 2nd. So of course, this is going to affect everybody depending on where they've got 10 degrees of Libra in your chart. But solar eclipses, the sun, solar. So you guys will really be feeling that and can have really big breakthroughs on October 2nd or around that time. Chrissy says, yes, love you Leos out there. So you've got that new moon eclipse in your third house. So over the course of the next year, really good time for you to be focusing on and nourishing your local community and neighborhood, your local living. Do you have a commitment to your local neighborhood? Okay. Do you even know any of your neighbors? Do you even know anybody in your town? Do you even like your town? Okay. It's good for you to be focused on your local environment over the course of the next year, and maybe even committing to new people, new friends, new clients. Some of you may even meet a new lover within your local community. Third house can also be associated with friends, siblings, cousins. So there can be positive relationship breakthroughs in those areas of life. And the third house is also our learning and communication. So really good year ahead to be learning something new, taking a course, sharing information, maybe starting a business that incorporates social media can be really good for you guys. And then we've got the full moon in Aries on October 17th happening in your 9th house. So some of you Leos may be doing some foreign travel or foreign studying, higher learning around October 17th. If you are traveling in a foreign country, Leo, because we've got that square to Mars to this full moon, could be, and I don't want to manifest this for you guys, just reading the astrology, okay? Could be like a health issue or illness or getting sick or a conflict or something frustrating going on with travel. So just want you guys to be prepared for that. Hopefully none of that happens, okay? If you do an astrological remedy ruled by Mars, which is like exercising, physical movement, okay, that can offset some of that if you are going to be doing foreign traveling. But if you are studying something new, focusing on your beliefs, working with your beliefs, doing foreign travel, it's actually an empowering time to be doing so. Okay, so your consciousness is rising and expanding with that full moon in Aries. So very, very cool. And you may be letting go of beliefs that no longer serve you. So lots of love to you Leos out there. and wishing you an absolutely magical month of October. Love you guys. Okay, Virgo, sun, moon, and risings. We've got the new moon eclipse on October 2nd happening in your second house. This is a beautiful eclipse for you because actually Libra is ruled by the planet Venus. The second house of Taurus is, associated with the planet Venus. So I invite you, Virgos, to reflect on and set intentions around pleasure and enjoyment and abundance and income and finances. These are all areas that the second house rules, and your values, what you associate value to. Do you value yourself? I'm hearing Spirit say, do you value your gifts? Over the course of the next year, Virgo, sun, moon, and risings, you can be having a new income stream that is in alignment with your gifts, with your talents, and that actually brings you pleasure and is not like a grind, is not like, I got to go to this job today that I hate. There's new income streams, work opportunities, new pleasure and enjoyment coming in for you. So I invite you to kind of reflect on, as we're in this eclipse week, where is there an area of life that I want more pleasure and enjoyment? Is that the relationship with myself, self-love? Is that in a love relationship? Is that in my work? Is that in my home? Is that with my friends? Something for you guys to think about, okay? Really good for abundance, that astrology. Then we've got the full moon in Aries on October 17th in your 8th house. Woo! House of Scorpio, full moon in Aries. These are sister sign energies with Mars, the dispositor, in T-square to the moon and sun. So this is going to be an intense full moon for the Virgos, okay? This could even be a point of crisis, okay? And when I say crisis, I do not mean, oh my God, your life is falling apart, it's all over. No, the 8th house of Scorpio is sometimes shit needs to hit the fan, or sometimes something really big needs to be revealed to us or happen, so that I'm hearing Spirit say, we step out of a pattern that we've been in. Okay. So this is a very empowering full moon in Aries on October 17th and the days surrounding that, where there may be something intense that comes up. There could be a secret that comes up. There could be shadow works or things that you suddenly remember from the past. Mars in Cancer rules the past in square to this full moon. So around that full moon, I think that would be a good time for you to do some self-work, some energy healing, to maybe do some therapy, some real deal healing practices and cleansing practices, because there's likely intense things coming up to the surface for you guys where you're not being punished, okay? It's inviting you to up level and to transform into your even greater version, and is very, very empowering. This is a good full moon for you to let go of if you've ever gone through abuse or trauma, which can both be ruled by Aries and Scorpio in astrology. So big energy for you Virgos, and I'm sending lots and lots of cosmic love your way. Happy October. Okay, next we move to our Libra sun, moon, and risings. Well, you guys are like the stars of the show right now, because we've got the new moon eclipse in your sign on October 2nd, of course, happening in your first house. So Libras, you've been getting slammed. And let me know in the live chat or the comments below how our Libras are feeling out there. Okay, there's likely to be very big life events, developments, epiphanies, transformations happening for Libras. I love that this is a new moon eclipse, fresh, new energy moving forward, okay? A lot of Libras the past 6 months have likely been going through a really challenging time of release, because we've been under the influence of that full moon South Node eclipse in Libra. Now we're moving into new moon solar eclipse in Libra. So even though the South Node is still in Libra, you'll be totally out of the waters in January when the South Node moves into Virgo. But things are already getting lighter for you, I feel like. And if you've got your birthday on October 2nd or 5 days before or after, you're going to be having an eclipse solar return, a very powerful birthday year ahead of some big life changes. And it's good for you to be working with that solar return energy to transform your life in whatever ways resonate with you. So relationship changes can come up, work changes can come up, living situation, the very foundations of your life. This is an eclipse in your first house. Your identity and your life are transforming from the inside out big time. The full moon in Aries that we've got happening on October 17th is in your 7th house. So there could be the end or a release to a romantic relationship, work or client relationship, style or aesthetic that doesn't serve you. And remember, Mars is in T-square to that full moon. So there could be conflicts coming up with other people, or could even be, and I don't like saying this, but could even be some people like you realizing that there could be someone in your life that's like abusive towards you. Okay. Mars in Aries can be in its shadow aspect, violence, physical violence, abuse, can even be sexual abuse. Okay. So Libras, if any of that is going on, you need to like let that shit go. Okay. Because that's not a healthy relationship in love, work, or with clients. Okay. And the energies are going to get more and more heightened on this planet. We are, raising in vibration where it's very important for you to take care of yourself right now. And one of my mentors would always say to me, birds of a feather flock together. So who you surround yourself with, the inner circle that you surround yourself with is as far as you will actually up level and transcend, right? So if you've got really abusive, controlling people around you, and I'm not saying all Aries are like this, it's a Mars in square to the full moon. So I'm talking about more the shadow aspects. Let that shit go. You don't need that in your life and you don't deserve that and you don't need to take that on. And Libras are very loving and very beautiful. And sometimes you guys can take on too much from people. Okay. So just being mindful of that. But full moon in Aries can also be very empowering for you in realizing the truth about others around you and your relationship and commitment dynamics. So sending lots of love to you, Libras, and wishing you a magical eclipse. And magical whole month of October, because we're talking about the whole month of October. Okay, now we move to the Scorpio sun, moon, and risings, my fellow Scorpios. Well, we've got the new moon eclipse tomorrow, October 2nd, happening in our 12th house, which is the Pisces ruled areas of life. So really good eclipse to be setting intentions around our spirituality, our creativity, behind the scenes work, rest and recuperation and dreams, creative projects, our spiritual and intuitive development. And, can be a good eclipse if you're a single Scorpling out there to manifest a new like soulmate twin flame partnership, because this is an eclipse in Libra in the 12th house of spirituality, the soul level relationships. So I think a lot of Scorpios can have beautiful relationships coming through on the soul level over the course of the next year, and really good for you to be in a spiritual practice. It's an alignment for you to be embracing your spiritual and creative self over the next year. Fantastic for creative projects. Then we've got the full moon in Aries happening in your 6th house. So, Aries and Mars does have a lot to do with physical health. The 6th house is the house of health. So some of you, Scorpio, there might be like something health related coming up around that full moon in Aries. Aries does rule the head, migraines, headaches, the eyes. Okay. So could be stuff coming up in that way. But on the positive note, this full moon in Aries is empowering you in your day-to-day work, day-to-day routines, and health. So very powerful full moon to actually be doing physical cleansing, and also be honest with yourself about your health situation. Do you need to go to the dentist? Do you need to go to the doctors? There's something that's up. Aries is about dealing with things in the present moment. Aries does not leave stuff, like Aries is not a procrastinator, right? So really good full moon. If there's something you've been procrastinating on, health-wise, work-wise, put the energy towards that. This full moon can definitely help you with that. And maybe a little bit of conflict going on in the day-to-day workplace or office place with that Mars in square to the full moon. Remember to not take anything personally from people, if so. So I love you, Scorpios, and I'm wishing you an absolutely magical month of October. Okay, next we move to our Saggy Waggies, our Saggy Sun, Moon, and Risings. You guys are having the new moon eclipse on October 2nd in your 11th house. Aren't you guys just the lucky duckies? Okay, you guys always have something good going on. I always say that to you, Saggies. 11th house is great for an eclipse because, well, especially for a new moon eclipse, because the 11th house rules our goals, our desires, our wishes, gains, as well as the Aquarius ruled areas of life. So fantastic eclipse for you to be putting your intentions out and actually putting the work and energy towards those intentions in those Libra ruled areas of life, your commitments, your relationships, your pleasures and enjoyments. This is new friendships. This is new community, like-minded coming forward for you guys over the course of the next year. Maybe new jobs related to online work, technology, something Aquarius related. So anything ruled by Aquarius, very in alignment for you to be focusing on over the course of the next year with that eclipse in your 11th house. Then we've got the full moon in Aries on October 17th in your 5th house, which is the fun house, the house of Leo, but it's also can be dramatic in its shadow aspect, okay? So just watch out for drama, Saggies, okay? Could be drama with men going on in your life. Aries does rule men. You could be feeling more dramatic than usual, but the positive side of this full moon in Aries is you're feeling creative, you're feeling sexual, you're feeling inspired, fearless, and on fire. So for Saggies, this is an amazing full moon to be in the spotlight, to put yourself out there, to be fearless and in your empowerment. I love the energy of that for you guys. And make time for creative downloads for sure. If you are a creative, or notice what creative ideas you have around the time of that full moon. So sending lots and lots of love your way, Saggies, and have an absolutely magical October. Next, we move to our Capricorn, serious Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Just kidding. I've got my moon in Capricorn, so we're not all totally serious, although some Capricorns are. We've got the new moon eclipse in Libra on October 2nd in your 10th house of Capricorn. So like your opposite sign of Cancer, you guys can be feeling really empowered and in your element. This is a new moon eclipse in the 10th house, in your home house. This is amazing. And I know you Capricorns are going to love what I have to say because you guys love to work. This is fantastic for work, for anything having to do with entrepreneurship, professionalism, and your long-term goals. New moon eclipse in Libra at a Capricorn degree in your 10th house of Capricorn. Focus on long-term goals and intentions that you want to set, and you guys are going to kick ass. Do it specifically around work or your legacy, the things that you want to focus on moving forward. Also fantastic, Libra rules partnership. There can be great new work partnerships coming in for you over the course of the next year. Maybe starting a business with a lover, with a marriage partner, with someone you're committed to in love. So love the energy of that for you guys. Then we've got the full moon in Aries on October 17th in your 4th house. Okay, so there may be, I've been talking about this full moon in Aries has an air of conflict about it, has a little bit of drama, could be something coming up with your family, okay, or someone from the past. But good for you to be focusing time on your family, your home. How can you feel more empowered and inspired in your home? Good full moon to be cleaning the home out, doing some feng shui, doing some smudging. There can be healing that occurs with a male family member, because Aries rules men, or there could maybe be a little bit of a conflict with a male family member as well. But you're being invited to up level in those fourth house home and family and emotional ruled areas. So love you, Cappy, so much. And I'm sending lots of cosmic love your way. Happy October. Okay, we're going to the weird ones, the cool aliens of the zodiac, our Aquarius, sun, moon, and risings. How are you guys doing? You've got this month the new moon eclipse in your 9th house. Some of you guys may be traveling to a foreign country or become aware of a foreign trip that you may want to do. Okay, so over the whole next year period, actually good for you to be doing foreign travel where you are, I'm hearing Spirit say, learning new things and being inspired. Some of you Aquarians may even start a serious committed love or work relationship with a foreign person. 9th house is people, places, things that are foreign. Also amazing year ahead for you to be taking courses, learning new things, focusing on your spiritual higher consciousness development, all ruled by the 9th house. Finding more pleasure and enjoyment in your spirituality. Then we've got the full moon in Aries on October 17th happening in your 3rd house. So there's a focus on your local neighborhood and community, friends, siblings, cousins, how you communicate, social media, what you're learning, maybe a little bit of tension or conflict going on in your local community. Remember to not take things personally from neighbors, from friends, from siblings. If someone all of a sudden has a freak out on you, or you yourself might be feeling frustrated towards someone ruled by those 3rd house ruled areas in your life, but you are being empowered when you spend time in your local community, when you spend time in your neighborhood, focusing on your friends, your siblings, how you communicate and what you learn can be very empowering for you. And there might be a lot of things going on at the same time. I noticed that when people have the 3rd house activated, because it's ruled by Mercury, it can be very quick and busy. There can be a lot of things going on for you at the same time around October 17th. So remember to breathe one breath at a time. Make sure you're doing self-care. Don't overextend yourselves out there. So lots of love to you, Aquarians, and wishing you an absolutely magical month of October. Okay, and next we move to our Pisces, sun, moon, and risings. How are all y'all guys doing out there? Our Pisces fish. You're having the new moon eclipse in your 8th house of Scorpio. Woo! So that is, I was going to say the word sexy. I don't know why I'm saying, well, Scorpio does rule sex. Okay. But this is huge transformation and up-leveling occurring for you, Pisces, right now during this eclipse season and over the course of the next whole year period for you. You are transforming, I'm hearing Spirit say, from the inside out, becoming even more confident, even more empowered. A lot of you will be meeting new soulmate partnerships. That Scorpio, the 8th house, is like really deep connections with people. So you know that something is in alignment for the long term if you have a deep connection with someone on the soul level and it's not just surface based. That's Scorpio. Also, there can be nice returns on investments over the course of the next year. Okay, 8th house rules investments. Yay, everybody likes to hear that. Also, your partner, because the 8th house and Libra can also rule your partner, can have nice returns on investments, be sharing resources with you. Your love life is highlighted. Your healing journey is highlighted and very in alignment for you to be putting some energy towards that over the next year as well. And your psychic abilities are even more powerful, as if they're not powerful enough with you being Pisces. We've also got the full moon in Aries on October 17th happening in your 2nd house. So this, yeah, it's a little bit of an intense full moon. okay? But you are being empowered in your values, in your income. Some of you may be inspired to start your own business. Aries is one of the signs that rules entrepreneurship. There could be the ending or a completion, because full moons can have to do with ending and completions of an income stream and of values that don't serve you anymore. So Pisces, you're going through some powerful stuff. Also with Neptune in your sign, Saturn in your sign. Oh my gosh. You guys are going through a huge up level, and sending you guys lots of love out there for the most magical October possible. Oh my goodness. So we've done it again. We've gone through each of the 12 signs. We've done the collective reading for the month of October. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video today. And before I finish up, I want to mention that we've got the Beyond Mystic Conference going to be happening March 2025. Tickets are now available over on beyondmystic.net. And we're going to be doing keynote talks, workshops, in-person readings, some special surprises and offerings. So go check that out over at the link in the description box below. And if you'd like to have a personal reading with me, you can check that out over at consultations.beyondmystic.net. I love you guys so much. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Meg Moonbeam and Beyond Mystic YouTube, Rumble, and X channels. We're in spooky season. I love it. It's going to be intense. It's going to be historic and once in a lifetime, but we're going to get through it, you guys. I love you all so much. And I will see you later for As Above, So Below show with Ashala and I, if you're a viewer of that. So love you guys so much and see you next time. Mwah. Bye, everybody.